Baruch Haba and welcome everyone. So today's Omid is Makos Daf Chof Gimel Amud Aleph, and for a change we're at the very top of the page. We're learning today Leilu Nishmas, my grandfather Alexander ben David, who's Yotzaites today, and the Shomash have an Aliyah. Says the Gemara, my timer, Chof Gimel Amud Aleph, top of the page. My time in Mishum Nikla. So the Mishnah had a whole bunch of conditions that the person has to take his shirt off before he gets Makos, and a whole bunch of things. The Gemara says, my timer, why do we do all these things? Why does he have to lean? Why does he have to take the shirt off? My timer, Mishum Nikla. It says in the Pasuk Nikla, it should be a bizayin for him. He should be mizbaza. Part of the point of getting the Makos is that he should be humbled. So, or more like he should be ashamed. So, all of the things that they do here is because of Nikla. That's why you do all these things, says the Gemara. Amar Sheshis, Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So Rabbi Sheshis says, Minayin l'ritzua shishal egel. Why do you have to use a strap from an egel, a calf? The chsiv, it says in the pasuk, Arboim yakenu, give him the 40. The samachlei, and the next pasuk is leisach soim shar b'dijai. It's talking about shar, right? So from here we see that you should use the shar. Another thing, Shesha says, a woman whose husband died without children, so she falls to the brother. But let's say the brother is a mukashchin. He's got an illness where he's covered in boils. So she falls to the brother who's got this disease. He uses the same pasuk that she's not. We don't force her to marry the guy. She's allowed to. She's allowed to get out of this deal. Same pasuk. Literally means when your ox is plowing the field, you can't muzzle it. You have to let it eat. So here also that's how he learns with some It says next to the ki yeshu achim yachtov. So from here we see that when two brothers die, the whole parsha of Yevomi, the wife falls to the brother. So you see, loisachsam next to this pasuk, meaning if she falls to mukashchin, loisachsam, don't block her, don't stop her from don't stop her from marrying somebody else. V'amar of Sheishas Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So the Gemara's bringing, they speak about why the Gemara's bringing a whole bunch of members of Rav Sheshis. Well, Rav Sheshis Mishum Elazar ben Azariah. Kol mevazes hamoyadim ki'ilu oived avodah zara. Oh, 1 second, the door's locked. Okay, so sorry about that. Kol mevazes Amar Rav Sheshis Mishum Elazar ben Azariah. We're in now the first wide line on Chav Gimel. Kol mevazes hamoyadim, anyone who is mevazeh the moedim. Maybe because we're talking about bizayin here, that he has to be mizbazeh. So kol mevazeh moedim. Anyone who disgraces the moed, chag.
Disgraces the moed? I think that needs some context.
So we're going to see in a second. What's the din? Kilo oved avodah zara. It's like he worshipped idolatry. So what does it mean kol mevazeh moedim? So first of all, what is the moedim? Says the Rivon, second line. As a moedais. It's not talking about Yontif itself. It's talking about Chol Shamayid. Someone who's Mevazai Chol Hamayid. Chol Hamayid, the days between two Yomtivs. So the question is what's a Mevazah? Does it mean, it's a Machlaikas. It's Machlaikas Rishonim. Does it mean someone who does Melacha? Or does it mean someone who
doesn't wear day?
The Rambam, you don't wear big day Yontif. Rambam seems to be saying that you have to have meals on it. You have to have, there's a mitzvah to have a sudus on Chag. So the question is, what's this machlekes taliyin? Now, it could be the machlekes is whether malacha, there's another machlekes, whether malacha on Chol HaMoed is deraisa darbanan. So if the malacha is deraisa, so it could be we're talking about malacha. But if malacha is darbanan, so how could doing malacha darbanan be kilo oved avodah zara? So the Rambam L'chari says that Malacha and Chol HaMoed is Darbana, and therefore he says, so what's Mevazes HaMoedim? Mevazes HaMoedis, rather, is, I don't know why Rivon says Moedis, he says Moedim, the Gemara says Adnus says Moedim. But so lefi the Rambam that there's no Issa Malacha Doraisa on Yontif, on Chol Moed. So how you move as the Moedim? By not having a Suda, by not getting dressed up, by treating it like Chol, like treating it like a regular day.
A lot of people treat,
They don't treat Chol Moed like a Yontif.
correct.
Oh, so it says Kil Avodah Zarah. The question is, why is it Kil Avodah Zarah? And there's a lot of Achronim speak about it, that the whole point of the Moedim basically is to come close to Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's a time you should be Isaac B'Torah, you should be doing the Amud Yomi. And so if you don't do it, so you're getting close to the Avodah Zarah. You're dissing yourself for Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's the whole point of Chol Moed. Interestingly, I don't want to get too much into it, but there's a big machlaikas about whether Ramah and Mechaber, whether you should wear tefillin on Chol Moed. So the Beis Yosef says you don't wear tefillin on Chol Moed. The Ramah says the minig is minig poilin, whatever, that they used to wear tefillin on Chol Moed. You don't make a bracha out loud. Nowadays, no one wears tefillin on Chol Moed. Very few people wear tefillin on Chol Moed. Ramah says they used to all wear tefillin on Chol Moed. Beis Yosef says you can't, based on l'chayra the Zayah. It's a machlaikas Rishonim whether you should wear or not. But l'chayra the Beis Yosef's basing it on the Zayah that says if you wear tefillin on Chol Moed, it's chayiv misa. And the question is, why you chayiv misa? So here you go. Because if it's a bizayin, even bevaza the mayed, because tefillin is an ice, and you hold the mayed, it's not an ice. You have to wear tefillin for an ice. So that's like a bizayin to the mayed, and that's your Ovid V'Dazar. And anyone who's Ovid V'Dazar is chayiv misa, right? Maybe. T'chsiv. It says Elohei Masecha Loisasa Loch.
In Eretz Yisrael, at least,
No one wears tefillin here, right? Publicly.
It's probably Minig Yerushalayim, maybe, or is it?
When you guys tell people don't wear tefillin Chol Moed here, right?
In Chutz La'aretz,
They do. A lot more do in America.
some people, the ones that do wear the guy who stand on the other side of the mechitza. Until
No, I think in America it's a lot more. It's definitely a lot more common than in Israel. In Israel, no one brings tefillin.
Right, and if you do, you wear it. There are people that will put on at home.
At home.
Afterwards, after davening, but not as.
It's also a whole shiloh. How often do you have to wear tefillin? Is it a chiyuv? Is it a daily chiyuv? Is it you always have to wear tefillin? Just we say don't wear all day because we don't know how to be noy, but covered with tefillin. Shiloh is what's the chiyuv tefillin? Is it daily? It doesn't say don't wear tefillin every day. It says you have to wear tefillin. So someone will say that means wear it every day. The Gemara says kol ha'lovesh tefillin kol hayoim. He's a Talmud Chacham. It looks like there's two gerses there. If it's kol yoim or kol hayoim. It could be it means kol yoim. Maybe someone will say it means kol yoim. You have to wear tefillin every day. You're a Talmud Chacham. But Pashas, the Lashon Agmar, is kol hayoim. Someone who wears tefillin all day is a Talmud Chacham. Okay.
So that's why in Yerushalayim you'll see some of these guys walk around. They're
with tefillin.
that walk around.
Yeah, but Pashas, the minig is not to wear tefillin all day because we don't know how to be shema guf. You have to have a clean thoughts and clean guf. So 2025 is not like 1725. The first thing I remember coming to yeshiva, my Rebbe telling me is like, if you think you can understand the darga of a goy, how tahor he was, to live 200 years, a regular goy in Texas, 200 years ago, you've got no idea. The guy never saw a drawing of a woman, a hand drawing. Forget about he never saw even the outline with a pencil. That's what they lived. They never saw a woman with the dress like they dress in Meir Sharm, like the woman Meir Sharm. He never saw that. A goy. Anyway, says the Gemara. So it says Eloi Masech Alisasalach v'Samachlein. It says next to that Eloi Masech Alisasalach, which is the Issa of Avodah Zarah. As Chag HaMatzah is Tishmar. Keep Chag HaMatzah. Keep Pesach. So if you don't keep Pesach, it's considered like you're Oved Avodah Zarah. So Amr of Sheshes Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Another Memra of Rav Sheshes in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Kol HaMesapeh Lashon Hara. Anyone who speaks Lashon Hara. Anyone who accepts Lashon Hara. Anyone who testifies falsely. You should throw him to the dogs. It's befitting he should be thrown to dogs. It says in the Pasuk you should throw it to the dogs with some clay. And next to that it says Loisisa Shem Hashav. Kori Beinami Loisasia. It says Loisis Hashem Hashav, and you can also read that this Loisasia Lacherim. meaning lacherim. So the question is first of all, what does it mean? Roi lashlicha leklavim. The Meiri says it doesn't mean he's chayv misa. You should throw to the dogs alive. It means when he's dead, his body should be thrown to the dogs. It's roi, fitting. It doesn't mean he's chayv misa though. So what's going on over here? So first of all, what does it mean kol makabel lashon hara? So the Rashbam says kol makabel lashon hara doesn't mean that you heard the words of lashon hara. It means you accepted it. You makabel. What does it mean to be makabel? You accepted it to be true. Someone says to you, this guy just stole, and you believe him. So if you accept lashon hara, it's an avera. It's an avera to speak lashon hara, and it's an avera to also accept lashon hara. That's how the Rashbam learns. If you accept it to be true, the Chofetz Chaim says you can't even hear. If someone says to you, "I've got a juicy story to tell you," let me tell you what Yankel did. Say, "I'm sorry, lashon hara. I'm not allowed to listen." And that way, if you don't listen, he's not going to tell. The question is, how do you learn from this pasuk Leisis Hashem Hashav? That which l'chera means you can't. The Rambam seems to be saying, quoting this pasuk Leisis Hashem Hashav. Shav means sheker, right? That it's all learned from this pasuk. Leisis Hashem Hashav. You can't be made a sheker, and you can't speak lashon hara. Right? So the Rambam seems to be mashma that the Issa lashon hara is dafka when it's sheker. Chofetz Chaim in Sefer Chofetz Chaim, Yeshua Me'akon says, no, even if it's emes. How do we know that? Because you can't speak lashon hara to a dain if you haven't got two edim. One witness can't go ahead and testify. Mefurish Gemara. One witness can't testify if there's no two witnesses. Why lashon hara? Because they can't do anything based on one witness. So you see that even if it's emes, it's true. So maybe it's because when you only one guy saying it, right? Or if the Baldov is not there, you're not allowed to state your case if the Baldov is not there, because with Chayshesh, it's more likely that you're going to lie. When there's no other.
I know something. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
tired. What are we?
Why is it
lying about?
anything? Any lashon hara?
Oh, we're talking about lashon.
Yeah. Kol makabel lashon hara. Anything the guy says. So first of all, kol makabel lashon hara. It's a machlekes. Doesn't mean you're not allowed to accept it, you're not allowed to believe it, or you're not allowed to even hear it. Chofetz Chaim says you can't even hear it. You know what the Chofetz Chaim says? When can you hear lashon hara? If it's negated to you. Someone says, you know what so and so did to you, or you know what so and so wants to do to you, then you're allowed to hear it because you're negei b'dava. It's relevant to you. You got to protect yourself. You can't accept it to be true because that's being makabel lashon hara, but you're allowed to be chayshish. So then you're allowed to listen. But if someone says to you, you know what, he did to him, it nothing to do with you, you're not even allowed to listen. According to the Rashbam, you're allowed to listen if someone's got a juicy story, if you're not makabel. You say, I'm not makabel it, I don't believe it to be true. The issa to be makabel lashon hara is to accept it to be true.
What about when everyone's like, I don't know the person, or...
Are you allowed to listen?
Yeah.
So if there's a whole bunch of Eterim out there, and there's a whole bunch of Isurim. The Rashbam, the Chofetz Chaim doesn't say like this. The Rashbam, the Chofetz Chaim is not passing like this. The Chofetz Chaim, you can't hear lashon hara b'chal. You can't hear. You're not allowed to listen to any lashon hara.
Judah tzaddik, yeah.
Okay, you can't listen to b'chal. Says the Gemara. So, just interestingly, why is it roilach shlicha klavim? What type of punishment is that? Why should he be thrown to the dogs? And there's a whole bunch of, and I said the Meiri says it's talking about where he's dead, right? Why should he be thrown to the dogs? So there's a whole bunch of pshatim that all different people give. Why dafka to dogs? I had my own little pshat, and what I think is like this: if it's talking about where he's dead, it means he doesn't deserve kvura. What's kvura? Kvura is covered, right? You're supposed to bury the dead. It's a form of respect, right? People want to respect their dead. Bury them. But he doesn't deserve to be buried because he didn't want to respect others. He's out to ruin other people's cover, to ruin other people's names. The opposite of respect.
So we're talking about
so he's right to be thrown to the dogs. If he doesn't want to show respect to other people, if he's trying to ruin that covered, we should ruin his covered. That's what's right. The Chofetz Chaim says, just like a dog barks at everything that walks past and it bites people randomly, this guy also, he's busy barking at people and trying to ruin people, thrown to the dogs. Okay, I don't like that shot personally because dogs are not the most violent of animals. You could say thrown to the lions. Lions also try and,
leopards.
Yeah,
That would
but
happen
it could be
next time.
because dogs, right? It could be because dogs are very noisy. That's what the Chavis Chaim means. Dogs are busy barking, even though they don't always bite. So this guy that speaks Lashon Hara, he's not willing to get his hands dirty.
So nowadays,
He's not willing to get his hands dirty.
The dogs.
He's not. Well. There's a love I tell him. I'm a big maker with Lashon Hara. So this dog is busy barking. It doesn't necessarily bite. This guy also speaks Lashon Hara. He's busy barking at everyone, speaking badly, but he doesn't want to. He hates him. Go over to the guy, punch him in the nose. Why are you busy speaking badly behind his back? Right? That's the Chavis Chaim strat. I love it actually. I changed my mind. Says the Gemara. Ushtei ritzuis, 2 straps. Tana shachamar of a donkey. Why of a donkey? Why does he use 2 straps of a donkey in the straps of the cow, of the calf? It says, Kedadari shahu glilai aleidav chista. It says in the pasuk, Yada shakaneu. We read this in the Haftarah last week or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. Yada shakaneu v'chamar evus balav. Yisrael lo yada. The chamar doesn't know the avus. Avus is the trough, the thing it gets fed from, of its owner. A donkey knows who its owner is. A donkey knows who's feeding it. Yisrael lo yada. Now the time that Kodesh Baruch Hu has on humanity, on Klal Yisrael, isn't that, how can you do an Avera? How do you not know who feeds you? A guy's giving you food. You walk at the restaurant, someone's giving you a plate of food. You're going to smack him in the face. Your waitress is coming, bring you a fat meal. You're going to spit in her face? HaKadosh Baruch Hu's feeding you every day. 3 meals a day. And some people eat 6 meals a day. How do you spit in his face? You don't know who's feeding you? You ignore his Torah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Misha Makir, Evas Balav. V'yifra Misha Einu Makir, Evas Balav. The thing that knows who's feeding him, the donkey knows who's feeding him, should pay off the guy that doesn't know who's feeding him. Fascinating Gemara. Yada tefach should be a width. The handle is a width, a tefach wide. Amar Bai Shmamina kol chad v'chad lefum gabei. Each person has the strap lefi his back. In other words, the straps are personalized because the strap has to reach to his front, right? So each one has to have his own personal strap because it's got to hit the back and reach the front. He needs a personal strap, personalized sizing. He's got to have it measured. You've got to go to a tailor first. Each guy will feed the size of his back, huh?
What are we referring to? Sir?
When he gets Malkus, the strap has to be able to hit the back and go around the front. So each guy's got one guy's got a big back, one guy's got a small back. So the strap has to be the size of the back.
So when you do Malkus, you hit the person in the back?
Twice in the back, once in the front.
You have to hit them in the front. It's not like you hit them in the back.
Yeah, so twice in the back, but the twice in the back has to reach to the front also. So kol chad v'chad lefum gabei. Avdin le amalei Rava says im kain nafish leritzuas tuva. You're gonna need a lot of ritzuas. Everyone's got a different size back. Ela Amarava no. Afka say yislei kiboy miktabei kiboy marpele. It's got like some type of knot, some type of structure in the strap. You can extend it. It's what's the word? It's adjustable. There's one strap they use for everyone, but it's an adjustable strap. Malkin I say minani mili. Amar of Kahana, v'pila sheifet v'kol lefonov. So how do you know you give 2 in the back, 1 in the front? V'pila sheifet v'kol lefonov, kedei rishase b'mispah. So the pasuk says v'pila sheifet v'kol lefonov. That's the pasuk says lefonov. V'kol means once in the front. Kedei rishase is twice in the back. Risha achas milefonov, says the Gemara. Once in the front. Shtei rishis ma'achav, 2 in the back. That's how the Gemara understands it. Ein malkin say Amar of Chista. Amr of Yechanan, Minayin l'ritzushi muchpeles. How do you know that this strap should be folded over? Shenemar, vipilu. It says in the pasuk vipilu, and it's talking about really the person that he should be leaning over. But they learn he's drashmi, he's derish vipilu that the strap itself should be like bended over. Says the Gemara, when we buy gufi, you need it for the guy. So in came lichtav kra yatihu. If it means just the guy, it should say yatihu. Why does it say yachpilu? My pilu, shmamanatati. You can learn out from the word pilu 2 separate things. Also, he should be bent over. Also, the strap should be bent over. Hamake maka biyadai.
Is the bending over of the person an embarrassment thing?
Yeah, that's what Gemara says at the beginning. Okay. That he has to bend over. He should be misbazed from it. Amaka, Donabonon. Aim may meeting Chazonim, the gab of the Beis Din, the guy who's doing the Malkus. Ela Chasere Kayach Ve'Sere Mada. A guy who's very weak, but a lot of seichel. You know, you have some Alta Yid, some old rabbi who's very smart and not very strong. No, even someone who's not very smart but's got a lot of kayach. It looks like Rav Yehuda because it says it says don't give him any more than than the prescribed 39. Pen Yosef. Right? If you're talking about people who are stupid, you gotta warn them. Don't give him any more. This is a dumb guy. The guy who's doing the malchus, he's a pretty dumb guy. You got to say, don't give him any more. If you're talking about like the guys, the smartest people in the nation, you got to warn them not to give more. It says 39. The guys can give 39. He's not stupid. He's not going to give him extra. Rabbanon says, hey, Masir and Ele Mizuras. The only people it's worthwhile wasting your time giving chizuk to and giving Musatu is someone who himself wants to listen. So, yeah, the Torah says give us a warning, don't give extra. Ein mizaz and ele mizuras. So it's talking about Chacham. Tana, it says, Kshu magbia, when he raises the strap, it's magbia b'shtei yodav. Kshu makeh, makeh b'yodachas. When he actually swings it, it's like he only swings with one hand. Ke'echi deleisa miyididei. In order that the kayach, it should come from his kayach. It shouldn't be like when it's with two hands, it's holding back some of the strength. V'kaira. Now there's one of the shluchei basin reads the psukim. V'kaira says the Gemara. Tanar Banan says Agoda b'shedayanim kaira. The greatest of the one reads the psukim, right? He reads v'hurachim v'chapeovain v'sheni. And the second guy counts. So you got one guy reading the psukim and one guy counting. Vashlishi ay Makos, and the third guy says, hit, strike one, strike two, strike three.
So it's like reading the Megillah almost.
Yeah.
And blowing shofar.
Exactly the same thing. Bisman shemak muruba ma'arich. If the guy's got a lot of lashes he needs to get, so he reads the psukim slowly. Bisman shemak mu'ates mekatzer. If it's if he's got a small number, so then the guy should read slowly. In other words, the pasuk should match up with the malchus. So if there's a lot, if there's a lot of malchus he needs, read slow. Oh, good question. That's a Gemara's question. It says Gemara. It says he should read again from the beginning. What's going on? He reads slowly, or should he just read it fast and read the pasuk a couple of times? So mitzvah l'tzamtzem. The mitzvah is to try and squeeze it in one go. If you didn't manage it, then start from the beginning. He read as slow as he could, right? But he couldn't read that slow. He's not like I went to some Chassidish wedding and some Rebbe got the bracha, and he literally, this is off. The guy gets up to give a bracha, he's like, Bori. He said Baruch longer than I ever said anywhere in my life. Then he took like a 3-minute break. Atu! I guess this guy used to have a job in his previous Gilgal as the Makri.
I was once in a chasna of a certain Rav, his son, and a Rav gets up like that.
And then he started screaming at him?
After the chuppah, the Rav says, every time he says a bracha, is this the way he says a bracha? He says all for sure.
This guy says a shakal. He wouldn't be there. You wouldn't be able to make it to shul if that's how you daven, right? I actually had a step-grandfather who he made every bracha in his house. It was a master chacham, not like that, but every bracha was like Baruch Atah Hashem. It was incredible to see. Birchas Hamazon, every Birchas Hamazon was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't know. Torah Makarabba, Elila Makarabba. So it says the Gemara. Torah Makarabba. It says in the pasuk Makarabba, right? Elila Makarabba. Makames Manayin. How do you know you can't give him a small makkah? Tamalei Malei Yosef says don't give him anything. Anything. Im came Matamalo Makarabba. So why did it say Makarabba? If you can't give him anything, just say, don't give him anything. Why he says makarabah, right? Limit al-Shaynish in makarabah. When the Torah says don't give him a makarabah, an extra makarabah, what it means is it's coming to tell me that the first ones, don't think the first ones were small markers. The first ones were big ones. The guy's got to use all his kayach, right? He doesn't give like a little flick. This is all his kayach. So niskalkel, tanabanan. So the Mishnah says if niskalkel, the guy goes to the bathroom, he has to relieve himself. He goes home, right? He's off. He gets off. Tanabanan echad ish v'echad isha berei.
It's like a kid. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Right, exactly. Echad ish v'echad isha berei. V'lei b'mayim. Man and woman are the same thing. If they go to the bathroom, if they leave themselves with rei as opposed to with mine with water, they're off. Reb Meir, Rabbi Yehuda says no. Ha'ish berei. A man only gets off if you leave yourself with number 2. Va'isha b'mayim. And a woman, even if she leaves herself with water, with liquids rather, is she relieved. V'cham ma'imrim echad ish v'echad isha. Man and woman, ben berei ben b'mayim. Either way, man or woman, if they leave themselves with ketanim, with liquids, they go home. Vatanya, it says in the Brisa, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, echad ish v'echad isha berei. There's another Brisa, specifically Rabbi Yehuda says, man and woman is berei. So why here is he mechalik between man and woman? And then this Brisa, Rabbi Yehuda says, man and woman is berei. Amar Rav Nachman says, Beitzchak shneim shavim berei. That what does this Rabbi Yehuda mean? They're both equal when it comes to rei. According to Rabbi Yehuda, rei will let everyone go home, and the machlekes is only by number 1. Amar Shmuel says Shmuel kafsu. They tied him up to get the malchus. V'rotz mi beistin. He runs off. He ran off. Potter. He's potter. Also because he's nizbaza, right? This guy is running out of basin like a chicken. It's a bizayon. He doesn't even have to make. He runs off his potter. So the Rambam says it's talking about kafsu where he's tied up and the rope tears. He's able to run out. Mashma that not everyone can run out. Only if the rope tears, right? Only once he's tied up. So this guy's so scared. He runs away. I guess they're all standing there laughing, watching this guy run away. It's a bizayon. He's potter. Meisivei, it says kala, if he relieves himself, bein b'rishayim and bein b'shniya, whether it's before the first lash, whether it's before the second one, he's potter. He goes home. But nifska ritzua, if the strap breaks b'shniya before the second one, he goes. B'rishayna ain't if the strap breaks before the first one, he's not potter. So am I lavikaratz? Even if the strap breaks before the first one, why is the strap breaking before the first one any worse than if he runs away before the first one? If he runs away, he's potter. So if the strap breaks, he should be potter. What's the difference? Hossam, the Gemara says, Hossam ratz, achalei ratz. The difference is pasha. When this guy runs away, he's nizbazer. He ran away. It's a bizayon. He's potter. But when the strap breaks, nothing happens. He's standing there like a gavra. I'll take it. He's not worried. He's not scared. The strap breaks before he got anything. There's no bizayon there. He's not potter. Tarabanan. Amdu l'sheyilka kala. They said when this guy gets malchus, they made an assessment. As soon as he gets 1, he's going to relieve himself. He can't even take 1. This is interesting. Paitrin, they say, he's potter. The doctor comes and says if he takes one malchus, he's going to have to relieve himself. He won't take it. He's potter. He doesn't get anything. Paitrin, they say. But if they say when he leaves Basin, then he's going to relieve himself. Malchus, I say he gets the malchus.
Repeat that last thing.
So if the doctor of the basin says if he gets 1 malchus, he's going to relieve himself, he's potter. He doesn't even get 1 malchus, right? Basin kala. If they said once he leaves basin kala, he's gonna relieve himself.
He's not even going to get to the whipping post.
Yeah. The first one is if he doesn't get to the post, right? Okay, he doesn't. Basin kala. Sorry, if he gets the lashes, then he leaves basin. He's gonna relieve himself. Malkan, I say he gets the malchus. Even if he relieves himself before the first lash. Malkin Isai, he gets Malkus. Shenemar Vikov Nikla. V'lo shalaka kvar bebeis din. It says in the pasuk, we're talking about a case where he gets the Malkus, then he relieves himself, then he's Potter. But if he relieves himself before the first Malkus, then he's not Potter. So it does turn out there's a big difference whether if he runs out of base, then he's Mivaz himself. Turns out running out is a bigger design than relieving himself. Because if he runs out before the first Malkus, he's Potter. But if he relieves himself before the first Malkus, he's not Potter. After the first Malkus, he is Potter. Fascinating psychology here. Says the Mishnah. Well, we might as well, it's already, okay, let's start the Mishnah. Let's finish the end of the Omer, a couple of lines. Kol chayve krisis shalako niftru alidei krisason. Anyone who's chayv krisis, he gets Malkus, he's Potter from krisis now. Shenemar, v'nikla achicha lenecha, kashalaka harihu ka'achicha. Once he gets Malkus, he's your brother again. Divrei Rabbi Chananya ben Gamliel. V'amar Rabbi Chananya ben Gamliel. Ma ima oiver aveira achas noitil nafshi aleha. If someone does one aveira, he's chayiv misa. Hoisa mitzvah achas. You did one mitzvah. Alachas kama v'kama. How much more so? Shetinasa loy nafshay. That he gets life. Reb Shimon Omer, you don't need a kal v'chayma. I don't even need this kal v'chayma. From this pasuk itself, I know it. Without the kal v'chayma, it says in the pasuk, "V'nichor nefashos ha'isais." It says I get kares. V'aymen. It says asher yasa ha'isa madam v'chay bahem. Someone does a mitzvah, he lives. Take a look in the Riva on the top line. V'samachlei ish kasher b'sarai demashma misha isa chukoisai ani noiseh and chayim lai. Someone who does my mitzvahs, I give him life. People want scholars for life. Arichas yamim. Here you go. To live a happy life, do mitzvahs.
I have
happy life. Okay, shkoyach. Have a wonderful day.
I have a